Hello, hello, and welcome to the Color Whisperer Show, where we talk about all things home and healing. And today we're going to talk about new beginnings. And so, one of the things I thought I'd do is do something different and be in a different room. So, we're starting off with a whole different kind of beginning, so to speak. So, let's talk a little bit about change. Change can be scary. Let me see if I can fix. It is what it is. Okay, we've got some weird stuff going on with video today, so we'll see what happens. Um, I don't know why it's doing this. So we learn, right? All right, so we're going to talk about change. Change can be scary. And sometimes, even though it's exciting, maybe it's something you really wanted, but can still be really scary. I remember my first day of college. I was so excited. This was something I'd worked so hard for. And there was a part of me that was kind of terrified. I was going into a whole new world, living with somebody I didn't know. What was this new school going to be like? What was college going to be like? There's so many questions. So it was kind of scary too, and exciting. Okay, I don't know how to turn that off. Well, we'll have to do it next time. So hopefully I don't get too many more emails. Anyway, so change can be scary and it can be exciting. And a lot of times when we do something for change and we get drawn, pulled into that change, it's because the pain of staying where we are is too much. How many people live in a bad relationship for a long time? That could be a lot of things. It could be a parent, it could be a spouse, it could be a partner, it could be a child living with you still that's all grown up. It can be all kinds of relationships, but they're really kind of toxic. And we stay in them because, well, it's what we're supposed to do. Family is important, right? We stay in there because this is we're not supposed to leave family. We're not supposed to leave that partner. Anything's better than, the divorce, right? People are scared to death of the divorce. But sometimes the pain of staying is so much worse than the pain of leaving. And there's a lot of ways that we go after that relief. Now, it depends on your situation, but sometimes there's lots of times in life where we're just like, I need a change. What am I going to do? So maybe your hair is getting too long. I just chopped mine because it was getting too long. It's on the back of my neck, and I was like, I'm going to cut it myself if I don't get it cut soon, right? And I think we all tried to cut our hair in some level during COVID, right? It didn't go well. That didn't work for me. But you get to that place where it's just like, my hair's not doing what I want it to do. So what do? You go get it cut. Maybe you get it colored. You come out and you feel like a new woman or man. I don't know if men feel that as much as we do, but you feel a whole new person because you have a new vision of who you are. It's a new vision of self. And that new haircut or trying a different color puts you in a space of, I get to reinvent my character a little bit. I get to reinvent who I am a little bit. And my cat wants in. We'll have to see. If it gets too loud, then I'll have to let him in. but we get into that whole space of just like, we want to envision, what would I look, who would I be with shorter hair? Who would I be with longer hair? Who would I be more blonde? Who would I be as a redhead? Who would I be with gray hair? You know, a lot of women, that's a big deal to face that I'm going gray. And do I want to say yes to it and give into it? Or do I want to say no? You know? I know my mom, she wanted to go gray, and we wouldn't let her. I said, no, Mom, you're not old. You're not old. So when she got her fourth grandchild, she says, I got 4 grandchildren. I can go gray now. We couldn't really argue with that logic. All right. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to open the door real quick. We will not hear the end of this otherwise.
Well, you open the door and get the cat and everything. I thought I'd let you know that, yes, man, I do enjoy a fresh haircut. As a matter of fact, I've got to make an appointment later on today to get an appointment. And yes, we do worry about our gray hair. We do worry about our bald spots that might be the total balding and all along those lines. So yes, so all of that stuff that you ladies go through, yes, I can honestly say that guys go through it as well. And if you know, definitely if you follow some of the kind of traditions of African American culture and all along those lines, one of the popular places that you get to hear all the latest gossip is not just the women's salon, but the barbershop. As well. So definitely that is definitely a place that you'll go and hear all kinds of things going on in the community and all along those lines. But yes, we do enjoy that fresh new cut, and sometimes it will even change your demeanor, because I know that after I've gotten cuts, folks have been like, you look like you've lost 5 or 10 years or whatever many years and everything. Right. So yes, definitely it is a thing with guys as well.
That's good to know. So
all right. So I'll let you go back, but I just wanted to let you share that with you.
I appreciate that. So another way that women do it is with makeup. Now, it's all about change of attitude. So sometimes you're feeling kind of icky in the morning and you're like, I gotta get up. And maybe, maybe you're just gonna be hanging around the house today. And so maybe you just put on a little bit of makeup. And that depends on what that is for you. For some people, it's just eyeliner and mascara and maybe a little lip gloss. For some people, it's a little blush. I guess it depends on whatever features you feel need to be highlighted more. For some people, it's just a little lip gloss. And some days, maybe you don't put any makeup on, but then you do that dress up. Now, whatever that means to you. Now, for me, dress up means I do the eyeliner, I do the mascara. And that's not something I like doing. But once you get and you put the lipstick on, you spend all the time, get everything, and it changes your energy, right? When you get all dressed up, you put on the high heels and you've got the pretty dress on, it changes your energy of who you are in that moment. So, and our clothes is another big part of it. What's your favorite outfit? I love this necklace. I love how this necklace plays off of the green, right? It can be anything that makes you feel great in an outfit. Maybe it's your favorite shoes that make you feel 10 feet tall. Yeah, I'm 5'2", so I've got a pair of sandals that are wedges, I think, and I do feel about, I am 2 inches taller in them, but feeling 2 inches taller is a big deal. And for me, because I have short legs, so I almost always have a heel on. It doesn't have to be a tall heel or a spike heel, but I usually have heels on because if I sit in a normal chair, my feet don't touch the ground if I'm barefoot. Oh, it looks like we have a visitor. We'll see if he comes on screen, but this is Bailey if we see him. So the outfit that makes you feel like $1,000,000 This is all part of changing our vision of ourselves. And there's a lot of ways we can do it. And sometimes, you know, maybe you're just feeling kind of dull in your routine, and haircut or new outfit may change everything for you. And you can go out and you can be that new person. And sometimes you need a lot more. I just recently had a client, and she will be up on my YouTube soon. Hopefully this weekend. I haven't been able to put it up, but we did her whole house painted, and we did a little bit of space planning. But what she had done is she'd had a divorce, and in order to make ends meet a little bit better, she decided to close off part of her house and rent it out. So there was 2 bedrooms that she rented out, and she made it nice so that they kind of felt like they had their own space. And there was a shared kitchen, but she kind of made her own kitchen in her area. So they got the kitchen, they got a bathroom that was their own, and 2 bedrooms. And it went okay for a while until it didn't. And the lady left, and she's cleaning and she's cleaning and she's cleaning. And there's this icky feeling and this icky smell in the house that she can't get rid of. She's like, what's the deal? I've cleaned everything. And she's okay, well, maybe it's like a smoker. And the lady didn't smoke, but she's like, well, maybe I have to paint the walls to get rid of the smell. And she called me and she says, Jeanette, you can get rid of negative energy. I'm like, yeah. She says, is that what's causing the smell? I'm like, yeah, there's definitely something here. Let's get rid of it. And, you know, a lot of people think, oh, that stuff is, it's not real. I don't believe in it. Da, da, da. And the truth is, most people don't, until you're stuck in this thing of like, what is going on? Why? I've cleaned everything. She hired maids to clean, deep cleaning, and there's still this smell. She had somebody go under the house. They went up in the attic. There's nothing. There's still this smell. And when you've crossed off all of the quote unquote logical answers, sometimes the most logical answer is what many deem as illogical. And energy does stay, energy is everything. And there's quantum physics involved in this, okay? This isn't just, I'm not talking all woo-woo here. There's quantum physics here that it's real. And what I had to do is go in and clear the negative energy. And the house changed like that, just like that. It took us about an hour or so to do the energy clearing. And then the smell was gone. And she was like, oh, I'm so happy, Jeanette. And she's like, I've saged. And I said, yeah, what you got here is deeper than sage. Saging is nice and saging does work, but it does have its limitations. And so, and she hated the smell of sage. But she was ready for a new beginning. She had to make the house her own again. This was part of it. She had a wall put up, and she took out the wall that was in the hallway, made it back a door. So the house functioned for her. It didn't have to be a 2-resident home anymore. But we had to get rid of this other lady's depression because it was so deep. It was so deep. And, I could do a whole session on depression and how that affects a home. Oh my gosh. So if you do live with somebody, or if you are depressed, there's a lot of things you can do to combat that. And maybe we'll do a whole hour on that someday. It's actually a pretty good idea. So, Mark, next time I ask you, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about depression, okay? Anyway, so the depression was kind of stuck on the house. And we got rid of it. And the house started feeling happy again. And just the way we feel when we go get a haircut or you go get a new outfit, the house needs that too. So here the house was, and it had this, that feeling when like your hair's just, it's too long, it's not doing what you want it to do, and you just like, maybe you feel great, you maybe even wake up going, oh, I feel it's a good day, and then you look in the mirror and it's like, I look so tired and heavy and ugly, and that's what the house was feeling. But we got rid of it, so we gave the house a haircut. So anyway, it's all about the makeover effect. And then we started picking out paint colors. We had so much fun picking out paint colors. And the house had been, well, she painted it for a rental. So it was kind of bland and boring. And, that's what she was appealing to, make it easy for a rental. And now it was time to make it hers. Time to really embrace her own colors. And she said she'd never had a lot of color. She always went neutral because, well, that's what they tell you. And as we started choosing colors, the house just started to come alive. And we got samples and we put them on the wall. And she's like, oh, yes, this is exactly what I want. So I don't really like doing the same color in every room. It's because each room has a different purpose. Each room has a different feeling. And the feeling of a room is set by the colors. And one thing I will say, so this is something that will get you in trouble every single time. You never pick out the paint first. If you have a rug, if you have fabric, draperies, you want to pick that out first. Now, we did actually pick out some paint first. I told her, I said, we need to pick out drapery fabric or something first. And she said, no. This is what I want. I said, okay, well. So we did for the bedrooms, and the color in the bedrooms was this really beautiful buttery yellow. And that was okay. She didn't, one was an exercise room, so she didn't, that was fine. The other room, she felt confident she could find something to go with it. And it was a guest room. And she did actually have a couple of bedspreads out that we could see the color went with the bedspread. So that was good. And then she wanted a rug. She wanted a rug in her family room. And we picked out colors and I said, we got to pick out fabric first. No. Okay. Let's get it all done. All right, we did. So then she found a rug. And she's like, oh, Jeanette, the colors we picked don't go with the rug I picked. So here's a secret to picking out colors. You don't start with a wall color because there's millions of colors and you can even make your own color. But there's less colors out there when it comes to rugs, when it comes to draperies. So what you want to do is you find a multicolored pattern. So you can see my drapes here. Can you see my drapes here? Look at this. There's lots of colors in those drapes. So you pick one thing that has a lot of colors in it, and then you pick your paint color. Now, actually, we did this different in this house. This is the only color in the house that we kept when we got the house. And I fell in love with it. And then I found that fabric. I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. And it is. It really, I wish the light was better. You can't see how beautiful it really is, but it is. So I need to learn lighting. I do, but you can see I haven't changed the lighting, and it's been changing as we've been talking just in like the last 20 minutes. This is, I don't know. How do you do that when the lighting just keeps changing? It's the light outside is not changing. The light that I'm using is not changing. So it's somewhere in the camera here. Anyway, I digress. So you find a fabric that could be a rug. It can be draperies. It can be a picture. It doesn't matter what it is, but you create that as your palette. And then you pick the paint. It just makes life a lot easier. A lot easier. Because everybody tries to do it the other way around. And then you get stuck. It's not impossible, but it does make life harder. And anyway, as we got the paint up on the wall, and as the house is coming together, it's just like you can feel the house is exuding joy. It's loving the new outfit, right? But it's not just happening with the house, it's happening with the client, because each color that goes up on the wall, she felt more excited, more alive. So our home is very much an extension of who we are. When we get tired, when we get stressed, what happens? The house gets messy. And, if you're going through something, if you are experiencing depression, what happens? You're not so keen on doing all the chores. The house gets messy. Maybe somebody's died in the family and all the stuff came to your house. And you know what? That stuff is really heavy to go through. I've had several clients where that's happened. And, a couple of them, they had big houses and, kids were gone. So they just stuffed everything in a room because they couldn't deal with it. When my dad passed and I got a lot of stuff here, like I couldn't do it. A lot of it just sat in the living room for a while, a few months. I'm like, I can't handle it. Because at that point, you're not just talking about the physical act of going through things. There's an emotional act of going through things. I had a client, I was helping her go through boxes. She physically couldn't do it. Mentally couldn't do it. Emotionally couldn't do it. There's tons of boxes. So we'd get together once a week, spend a few hours. Let's go through some boxes. And, I found a receipt for aspirin. I'm like, oh, look, this is older than me. We don't need this anymore. Now, for me, that was easy. For her, there's memories attached to that silly receipt for aspirin that was, 40 years old. Because she remembered headaches. She remembered, maybe she even felt why she was having headaches at that time. When you're going through, when you're going through childhood stuff sometimes, or you're going through decades worth of stuff, it brings forth those emotions. I remember after my miscarriage, I had to go back it was in February, and around December or so, I had to go back through all the years bookkeeping. And thank God there was a bookkeeper there with me to do it, because doing it by myself was really hard, because I remembered all the checks that came in, all the checks that went out around that time. And it brought back that feeling to me. And having somebody else there to help you go through those things when they come up is so important. And so asking for help, it's not because you're lazy. It's not because you don't know how to do it. I know how to clean a house. I know how to get rid of stuff. Do it for other people sometimes. I've done it for myself decades. But this pile was too hard. This pile had so much emotion to it that I couldn't do it myself. So when you're stuck, when you're needing that new outfit, it's okay to ask for help. Have somebody go with you, and you don't try to cut your hair yourself and try to give yourself a whole new look. No, you go to the hairdresser and you say, help. I want something different. I want something new. What do I do? What can you suggest? You go look at magazines. Oh, I like that. Then you bring it to your hairdresser. At least I do. Can my hair do this? Because I can look at a picture and go, wow, that's really cool. And I like that on that person. But that doesn't mean it's going to look good on me. And it doesn't mean my hair is going to do it. Because I got naturally wavy hair. So if it's a hair for straight hair, I just do that. If it's a haircut for straight hair, my hair is not going to do it. So, I don't know, we got this weird video stuff. I hope it's coming across better for you guys, but it looks like I'm off. So, looks like one of those old movies where the sound's going different than the mic. Oh my goodness. Mark.
It looks perfectly fine on this side.
Does it?
Loud and clear and everything along those lines.
Okay.
So
I feel like the video is a little bit slow. Maybe it's just happening on my end. So I'm glad it's working okay over there.
No, it's working okay over here.
It's making me a little self-conscious, so I'm trying to work around it.
Don't be self-conscious. You're doing a good job.
All right. So let's talk about how you can do your own. So one of the biggest things you can do to change the energy in your home is paint. I talked earlier about the lady we did the home energy clearing. Well, that's a huge thing. If you're up for that, that can make a huge difference in a home. I did another client, I did a home energy clearing for her. And her house had been abandoned for a while. And it was hurting. It was hurting big time. So we did the home energy clearing. And the next day she sends me a text and she says, my little girl says that if she puts her ear up to the wall, the house is singing. And I'm like, oh, that's exactly what happens. I had a marketing person years ago say a 6-year-old should be able to understand your marketing. And I think that 6-year-olds have the best marketing brains because that's exactly what happens when you do the home energy clearing. It's the house starts singing and it just feels good. And sometimes it can be as simple as moving furniture. Now, some people say, okay, it's feng shui. Yeah, it can be feng shui. But there's also just some plain good sense to furniture space planning. And not everybody knows what that is or knows the right way to do it. I had a client years ago. They're getting ready to sell. And I went in and I just moved some pieces of furniture around. And not even very far. Didn't take me, took me, I was there maybe an hour and a half. We moved some pictures around. We moved a couple pieces of furniture around. And they were amazed. They were like, we've lived in this house for 20 years and we never thought of doing that. We didn't know the house could feel so good just by moving some furniture. There was one room they thought was really, really small. It wasn't that it was so small. It was they hadn't placed the furniture in the right place. And we got done and the guy kind of joked. He says, well, we don't have to move now. And they did end up moving because there was other reasons they were moving. But my point is that there's things that I see as a designer that the average person doesn't see. And that's, it's like calling in, you go, you don't try to fix your hair yourself. You go with a friend to go find that new outfit, or maybe you even have a stylist that you go to. There's apps on the phone you can get now where you can have a stylist. I haven't done them, but I've done a couple of the quizzes, and I'm like, oh, okay. There's things that I'm looking at as a stylist that they're not doing. So I took the quiz. I'm like, yeah, that's not really what I want. But having somebody else's viewpoint of what do you look like in the mirror? Have you ever gone into, maybe you went by yourself to go get some clothes, and there's another person in the dressing room, and they're like, oh my gosh, you have to get that because it looks so good on you. And, the salesperson says it, it's like, yeah, that's nice. But when there's another person in there, and they're like, oh, wow, I really like that on you. It's really nice. And, or you go with a friend and say, what do you think? Is this me? Is this me? And sometimes when you are stretching that, going to a stylist, going to somebody who is an image consultant can help stretch that image of who you are and who do you want to be, because they see something sometimes that you don't. They see a glimmer in you that maybe you haven't figured out how to expose. And when you're looking for that something different, something new, you need that vision. And that's what I do as an interior designer. So I'll come in and I'll look. What have we got to work with? What can we change? Sometimes all you're paying for is my time, because it's just a matter of moving some stuff in your house. Maybe you've got too many accessories. Maybe there's not enough accessories. That doesn't happen very often. Usually there's too many accessories. Maybe they're just in the wrong place. So it's all about being able to look at what's there. So paint is the most impactful change. Now, I showed you these drapes. I have a lot of colors in these. There's some green, there's some gold, there's some burgundy, there's a lot of color in there. Now, the cool thing, when you pick your fabric first, or rug, if I wanted to, I could give this room a whole new look. Keep the drapes and paint the walls. I could pull out the green and I could paint the walls green. And that would have the room have a whole new feel. I wouldn't do the red. There's too much red. But there's actually a little bit of pink in them. If I wanted to do like a very light pink blush, really, on the walls, I could. That would give the room a whole new feel. I'm not a pink girl. That's as much pink as I can handle. But that's the advantage of having something in the house that has multiple colors in it, is you can pull from all those colors. And then the paint, you can change the paint and get a whole new look without hardly doing anything, without spending a ton of money. And paint, not everybody can do it themselves, but it's a relatively simple change. So, and then drapes are the next one, because drapes are like the jewelry. You got to have the right jewelry, So look at this. And my necklace is yellow, but there's little bits of green in it. And by pairing the green with it, what do you see? You get to see how beautiful a necklace is. It makes it stand out. And that's what I want to do in the home. I want to make sure that every piece is seen, right? So we want to look at the drapes. We want those to be seen in the house. They are the jewelry. Your accessories are another element of jewelry in your home, right? And never do you want to just like, you see me still. You have this beautiful necklace, the green complements it, but you're still seeing me. You don't want to have something where all you see is that thing. Then it doesn't really fit, right? So like, oh, I just have this pink here. This is not my pink. Do you see how if I put this up next to me, all you see is this pink? You don't even see me. I disappear, right? So the idea, you can still be bold and outlandish. If that's your thing, you can still be bold. And if you like bold colors, that's awesome. But this is not my pink. So for me to wear this pink, or for me to be living with this pink, it's too much for me. My colors work for me. What I do is I help you discover what your colors are so that you know what colors your body is comfortable in and which colors are going to make you feel good in this space. So it's not just about what do you like? Go look at a bunch of magazines and what do you like? No. I get to show you the best parts of you, the best parts of your house. So I've got a little baby craftsman, I call it. And so craftsman style houses have a color palette. Now, it's very similar to mine, so it works. But you want to go with the color palette of the house as well as the person. Now, many times they work in conjunction with each other because we tend to like what feels good to us. But that's not always the case. So it's finding out the personality of the house, the personality of the person. And where do they mesh? Where does it all come together? If I'm dealing with couples, where does each one mix? So my husband, it's just easier. I'm talking about when I found this fabric. So his colors were much more subtle than mine. And when I found this fabric, first thing he looked at and went, no. And I said, I know but he actually needed formal stuff. And it is kind of formal. And he goes, yeah, no. But the red in that is actually his red. And the green in it is a little bit, some of it is my green, some of it's his green. The golds and the browns, those are me. And when I saw this fabric, I was like, oh my God, it's going to be so perfect with a wall color. We hadn't even had the house yet. We weren't officially moved in. And he was like, no. I said, well, let's bring it to the house. And because the house gets a say in things too. And how the house gets a say in things is things just click. So I brought it into the house and I had him look at it and I said, look. He's like, you're right. Buy it. I love it. Yes, Mark.
I just had a quick question. I'm actually going to move locations really quickly and everything, so I'll do the Kendu spices from the other location. But I was getting ready to say really quickly, do you get a was girlfriend as well? Because I never had a wife or anything, so I didn't get to. You have the husband, so I was trying to figure out if there was girlfriends or things along those lines. If you don't have a relationship, but there's a title for them, since you have this lovely term called the husband.
I don't know. I recently heard the term husband and I liked it, because there's an element of, it's like, well, sometimes stuff comes up in a conversation like just now, it's like, well, we were married when it happened and, like, I don't know, ex in that context just feels very cold.
Yeah.
And it was a very happy time for us at that point in time. And I still don't actually hate him. I mean, we can't live together, but I don't hate him. And you
No
know,
animosity.
there's no animosity on either part for either one of us. We can't live together.
And that happens
So
sometimes. I'm gonna have to see if I can't
it's
come up with a term for the was girlfriend or whatever that would be and everything. Because every time you say was been, I start laughing.
I think it's really cool. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Um, I I've I mean, I've covered a lot of what I was going to talk about today. You said you have to leave. I can I can close us out right now if you want.
Yeah, we can do that if you want to. Because yeah, I've got to make a quick run. And we can do spice, and then I can get to my errand and everything. But you were having
All
a great
right.
conversation.
Well, give me just a couple of minutes and then we'll do the Kindu Spice and we'll go from there.
All right.
All right. Cool. All right. Don't you love live? So anyway, it is springtime, and this is a time when a lot of people start embracing change, looking for that new excitement in their lives. Who do we want to be for the next year? Who do we want? What do we want to change in our house? We've got spring cleaning, and it's time to start looking around going, what can I create? That's what spring brings it out in a lot of people is it's time to create something. What do I want to create? So I am offering a Mother's Day special. Please text me or email me. You can text me at 626-485-6354 or call. I answer the phone. Or you can message me design@thecolorwhisperer.com and I can give you the details. And this is a really awesome special for Mother's Day. And please, reach out and get your new beginning. Get a new look for you or for mom. All right. So thank you so much for joining us today. If you're looking at doing some kind of change in your home, I'm here to help. I do work virtually. So the fact that you're not close by doesn't matter. I can do a lot with Zoom. All right. And now let's go to Kendu Spice and get some good healthy bodies.
You know how people love to enjoy food and don't understand how to flavor their food or how to replicate a meal? They're interested in supplements but don't know where to begin? Well, what I do is I take the guesswork out of enjoying flavor and wellness with my flavorful spice blends so that they can create delicious meals with healing benefits. Kendu Spice was created to help cooks at any level enjoy healing through food. Every spice blend was designed to give added health benefits of natural herbs. Every blend is complete. There's no need to add any additional spice for a delicious meal. Saving you time and money while adding supplements to your meals can be both tasty and fun. My earliest memories in the kitchen began with my father, Kenny Kendu Bond, so it was fitting that I would name this line after him. I have always looked to natural remedies to supplement the body, and I found myself hiding herbs and minerals in foods for my family. That's when it hit me. Everyone needs Kendu Spice. Everyone should be having this. It's an exclusive brand for cooks at any level who want to create flavorful dishes with healing benefits that can satisfy the body and soul. Add a little spice to your life. Give Kendu Spice a try.